Hello everyone, it's Catherine from my hillside garden in northeast Pennsylvania, zone 6. It's May 1st, today's a beautiful day. We're in the shade because the sun is so bright. I decided to do an update on how the winter sowing went. Here are just 3 containers of flowers, and I am going to transplant them into this seed cell tray just because I want to give them a little bit more growing space, and I want to be sure they're nice and big plants before I put them out into the garden and worry about the slugs eating them. So join me as I pot these up. These are bachelor buttons, baby blue. So let's see, I'm not sure how many plants we have in there, but I think it's about time to get them into a little bit larger container. And since it is a little bit early yet, but not really, because of this crazy weather we've had in zone 6A, I'm going to have them in the trays just to give them a little bit better head start. Okay, what we're going to do, since this is so compacted and I don't want to cut the container apart, I don't know of a better way to get them out. So let's just do it like this. We'll take it out in a chunk, and that way we can break them apart as we go. Now, you could actually take them into the garden like this and just plant out the sections. Little squares of them like that. Look at all those roots in there. But I'm going to plant them individually in the cells just so I can spread them around the yard. These are bachelor button, and I believe they're not perennial. I have to check, but they will self-sow in the yard, and that's what I'm after. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I don't know actually how many of these I'll put up into cells, but I'll try to get most of them. Maybe not into this tray. I might put some in containers to take to my zone 7 garden. Boy, these are really twisted in there. But they have a decent root system on them, so that'll be good. And these were actually planted February 26th in the winter sowing container, which basically is just, whether it's a juice container, a milk container, a soda container, any container that you have that you want to use. We'll take different size plants so that way we'll get blooms at different times. And there's my lovely neighbor. You could hear her in the background. I love quiet. That's why I try to be as quiet as I possibly can in my yard so that my neighbors can enjoy their yard. So let's get him in there. And you get the idea. I'll bring you back when I'm done. Now, when I do my winter sowing, I'll be sure to put a video link for you to watch exactly how I did it. I don't use the duct tape. I just use thin strips of packing tape. I think the duct tape is just overkill, and I want to spend as little money as I possibly can when I do things in my garden. So I just use a thin strip, and it works very well, as you can see, of keeping the container closed, and I don't have nearly as much waste as the duct tape. It can be a little fiddly to get off or to open up. You just have to be careful you don't cut yourself, because this stuff is like a knife if you're not careful. These are forget-me-nots. It's called Spring and Summer. So there are some weeds in there that must have been in the mix that I used, which is okay. But these, can you see that? The ones with the wider, larger leaves closer to the soil, those are the forget-me-nots. And I'm going to put them in next. And all I'm going to do with these, I think I'll be able to prick these out, and I have a very technical pricker. I'm just going to use a pencil. And I see there are smaller, let's see, there we go. I see there are smaller plants in there, so I don't want to disturb them too much, because I will let them grow on some before I transplant them. But I just want to get the bigger ones out if I can without doing too much. Okay, here we go. We're going to lift that guy out. Always hold it by a leaf. Don't hold it by the stem. And then let's bring you up. We're going to make a hole with our pencil, and we're just going to put that in there and put it the depth that it was in the other pot. Generally, with most things, that's what you're going to do when you transplant them. Put them as deep as they were growing from the first time. Some things, cabbages, brassica, most brassica, tomatoes, they like to go a bit deeper, or they can go a bit deeper, but most other things you want to put them at the same level. And the last one that we're going to do today that was winter sown on January 31st is the alyssum. Now, alyssum is fabulous for the bees and for insects. You should have some of this in your garden, whether it's in containers or in the soil. So I believe this is called royal carpet. That one might be the purple one. So I want to take some of these out. I'll put them in those cells, and then I'm going to plant some around the garden in containers. These I am actually going to plant in the tray in clumps. Let's see if I can do this without being too messy. We're just going to break some off and plant each bit into a cell. And then what I'll do is I'll go around the yard, and I will also put them in some of the containers. So, boy, there's a lot in here. I'm glad we had such good germination with these. Okay, I'll just show you how I'm going to do one of them. And I'm just going to take a clump. I'm going to make a hole big enough about for the root ball that we have here. Try and have them all going up. Oh, we got a guy there. Nope, nope, okay. And we're just going to put them in there like that. And give them a new little home for now. I'm not sure. Oh no, the leaves look the same, so that must just be a bigger plant. So let's take a couple of those out. Okay, let's see. A little bit of a messy job, but that's okay. Grab some more of these. Oh. Grab some more of these. And there we go. And the battery's running a bit low, so I'm going to put this one in. And then once I get everything done, I'll be sure to bring you back. So there we go so far. This is the transplanting of some of my winter sowing.